in goes Siuman and just causes havoc. He goes golden. They put their hands up in the air because they will concede this fight inside their base.
My name is Danteh. I play on Direwolves, and I'm the starting AD carry as of Split 2. I first started playing League when my friends in intermediate were playing it, so I was about like 12. Yeah, and then I guess it's natural if the friend group plays, I started playing, and yeah. Honestly, at the start, right, like when I first started hitting high elo, like Master, Grandmaster, I always thought it was just gonna be a hobby, like, oh, I'm just doing it, like, but I think the closer I got to uni, I'm like, do I actually want to do uni or like try League out with like a once in a lifetime opportunity? So it hasn't fully started yet, but after high school, the journey will be like real. Raze and Violet are like up there, but I know that I'm not as good as them yet, but I think that with like coaching and more experience of me playing the split, I can hopefully get to the level. Well, obviously the main goal is to win. Like, I actually think that with the roster, it's pretty possible. I want to be the best host ADC. Like, I know it's like hard, but yeah, that's just the goal. Just making sure I have no regrets and putting my all.
Welcome back to the LCO, delivered by Danteh or Menulog. I'm pretty sure it's Menulog. But Danteh, that was a pretty solid interview from him as well. Man's thinking about not going to uni to pursue League of Legends. That's a big choice, especially when you're 18 years old. That's something to talk about.
It is, and I don't want to talk about it too much on air because
Okay.
I've had this conversation multiple times with people, but the reality is you can only do this once. Uni will always be there. That's my stance on it.
Yeah, I share that.
What I do like, just as a quick aside on Danteh,
Yep.
while we have time to talk about it, is he wants to be the best ADC in OS. Do we include the exports? Like, is FBI still an OS ADC? Like, are we...
I'm sure everyone starts at home, right, and then wants to flap their wings and represent overseas.
Look, we can talk more about Direwolves right now and then for the next hour or so, depending on how long the game goes. So let's keep this conversation going, but let's involve some more names, not just the ADCs, Skimmy. Tell me about the rest of them.
Well, I think Danteh and Bulldawg have been playing really, really well as a pairing. I think Bulldawg's actually got the highest KP off the top of my memory, the most assists in the league, which is pretty phenomenal, actually. His most played has been the Karma. Last 2 games that's been denied away from him, so said, you know what, I'll just go back to Yuumi instead. And that looked ever so clean. Had a great read. I thought Poltron had certainly come in with a lot of great answers to your interview, Mac, but obviously it wasn't all for show. There was a degree of confidence, and for good reason too, because the level 1 started off the game. Siuman then comes in after this point and says, I'm going to become now 4-0. And from that point on, a Silas with a cat on his head said, we're going 10-0, we're going to become the MVP, and there's not much that you can do about it. And I think we started off by saying that this team in the first round robin were very pick-orientated. They played a lot of Jhin, they played a lot of Ahri, but they've certainly diversified that pool. And said that we're looking to become a lot more well-rounded, but I certainly feel like that is their strength. They want to be this aggressive in early games.
It's one of those things, right, where there's been a lot of interviews that don't age well, and there's a lot of interviews that, well, there's some interviews that do age well. And the one we had yesterday with Poltron was definitely one of the interviews that did age well, because it turned into a very solid victory, showed that they put in a lot of prep work. Now, going up against Peace, I'm expecting almost the exact same thing from Direwolves today. You know, knowing exactly how they're going to play and knowing exactly what they need to do to slice them to bits. But Peace, they got another win yesterday. That's 2 back-to-back. Is this their resurgence, Rusty, back into the LCO for round 2?
It will be 2 games back-to-back of Chayon playing with Gunkrab as well. So this means this entire week we'll have no Violet to be seen, and we don't really know why just yet. We can only speculate, but what we can say is that yesterday Peace got a red side Wukong. They had an Ezreal Karma Corki composition as well with an Ornn to augment them. You can't ask for literally anything else to try and win a game, and they did win the game. So there's nothing really to say negatively towards Peace. They showed up, they did their job very well, they looked clean, and that's the type of momentum you're hoping to see carried through to today's game, where the stakes absolutely are raised.
Yeah, the stakes certainly are, and they need to get these wins on as early as they possibly can here. Reminder, last time Peace and Direwolves went head-to-head, Peace won. So if Peace win this one, they actually have a head-to-head against them, which is another talking point, right? If they can manage to bounce back really hard into the start of round 2, that could solidify a playoffs position further down the line, maybe, you know, higher up in the standings. The conversation, it goes on for another month or two before we get to DreamHack, get to the grand finals, and get to playoffs as well. But for now, how do we see this one going? Because I feel like if Peace play like they can, then it can be their game. But if Direwolves play like we saw yesterday, then I reckon it's a Direwolves day every day of the week.
I'd imagine full roster Peace in full form would be favoured. Certainly from what I'm seeing of Direwolves so far, I would say that they are favoured. I think if you look at this, it almost feels like a grudge match for different reasons, right? Because Direwolves went into this one, they had a 6k gold lead, they played the game flawlessly, up for one team fight, right? Where the charm went in from Ahri, it gets cleansed out, the fight gets overcommitted, they lose to get Drake, Baron, end the game. So I'm sure Peace don't want to have to wait till 30 minutes to say, you know, we've got the calm, the confidence to close things out. But I think that these two teams are very polar opposite in that fashion, right? Direwolves will be going in with a lot of early aggression, and Peace will be trying to bring it to late.
Now look, you've got Wolves, you've got Dragons.
Yeah.
And are you a fan of fish?
All right, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you like fish?
Yeah.
I know a
Good
man
caster.
that likes fish so much, he put one on his head. We got LeeSA for the interview. Mate, let's have a quick chat here. How's the mullet going? Quickly, let's get an update. Is it going strong?
Yeah, but it's like I haven't showered today, so it doesn't look really good today.
So it needs to be unshowered to get real, you know, dirty
Yeah, to get in
and
shape.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what we love to see. Now, look, couple of questions. Going into round two, look, you've got a couple of wins in the end of the first round. You beat Direwolves last time you went up against them. Are we expecting that again today? You know, are you feeling really confident?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we already want them beat them twice, beat them once. Then now we can just beat them twice.
Very true. You almost leaked the script that you already beat him twice. Now, quickly, is there a reason why you're using Chayon again today instead of Violet? Is it just, you know, recency? You got that extra win on the board?
Violet thinks this game's too easy for him, so he's like on a vacation. Now we just gotta like put Chayon up to let him play.
Ah, easy. So just more experience. Now,
Yeah.
what are the goals going into round two? Is it just to iron things out, you know, be a little bit stronger, more consistent going into the second round?
Yeah, being very consistent is like the first priority things for our team. We need to get more wins, and we gotta like secure higher spots for our playoffs.
And look, it's the Great Outdoors Month at the moment. So I know you've got a couple of subs. I know you've got a couple of friends that are in your team. If you guys all had to go on a picnic, but the picnic is specifically at a park in the country, and you have to spend 2 hours driving with them to get to that park to go on a picnic, who in your team would you take with you?
I know someone that is like actually can drive. That is Apii, so I'm gonna choose Apii.
Well, that'll definitely help, you know, make the journey happen.
Yeah.
What would you take? Would you like what's in the picnic basket for you and Apii?
Like Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's like fuel for Apii to make him like energy up.
oh, true, very true. Now look, we'll let you go, get ready for the game. Thank you very much, LeeSA, for having a chat, and we might see you after if you get a big dub.
Thank you.
Always love to check in with his mullet, see what the players take on picnics, and
Yeah.
of course choose the one that can drive from the team.
I feel like we've almost created a meme now. We're going to be searching every time we get Apii point of view as to where those Coke cans are. You know, is he in peak performance mode or not? What's happening? Who
Hey.
knows?
Is the mullet showered?
Is the mullet
Is the
showered?
mullet
Showered.
showered? Did you like the segue in, by the way? The man that loves fish.
I'll
If
still
you
be
did, if
going.
you missed it, go back and watch it. It's definitely worth it. Dare fan vote time. Get your Twitch points in. Tell us how you think this game's going to go, because I feel like this is probably the game that should be the closest game today on paper, in terms of numbers, in terms of what we've seen from both these teams. And I want to know, well, we want to know what you guys think as well. So get those Twitch points in. Put your Twitch points where your mouth is, so to speak. Now, our predictions are split. Kitty, she's not here, so she doesn't have to explain herself, but I know she's probably in Twitch chat, so do it there. I'll keep an eye on it and maybe talk about it later. But for now, do we just enjoy what we're seeing from Direwolves? Do we just think that, you know, the prep work they're putting in, what we're seeing, the entertainment value, the strength of this roster is just convincing us?
I think, yeah, certainly in a meta where you get a little bit dicey, having to wait till a late game every single time, sort of hedging your bets on that one team fight determining it. I'm sure that lives rent-free in Direwolf's mind, realizing they could have had a flawless start going into their insanely hard schedule. So I think they can reflect and obviously be upset at the end result, but be happy about the process that got them to such a strong position. A 6k gold lead, they couldn't close it out, unfortunately, for that one mistake. I think if they can do the exact same again today, they can really, hit those break points before Peace feel comfortable in a mid to late situation.
Very true. What about you, Rusty? Same sort of thing, just expecting Direwolves to have an early game?
Yeah, I mean, I just think the Direwolves' preparation planning, their drafting has been really clean. Their average skill has been better than Peace so far, by far.
Okay, well, let's see if that statement rings true, because it is time to see what champs everyone's playing in the final game of the day. It's time for Champ Select.
It is indeed time for Champ Select, and the most important thing for me is, will we see Teemo? Because we did see it last time. It was picked on red side. Direwolves have red side again. Zorenous is cooking up something special to try and make Thien's life hard.
Yeah, look, it's certainly possible that Zorenous will pick something crazy. It's a good way to deal with the Chiefs. The Peace roster on blue side. The Chiefs. That's not a good way to deal with them. There's no good way to deal with them. Thien's been a pretty mixed performer so far. He's had his good moments, he's had his bad moments, and it's very up and down in his performance overall. Zorenous seems to have been just a solid, good player. And, Teemo's not exactly the play style that Direwolves have been succeeding with lately, but it's Peace. You can take him down a notch if they pick themselves a Gwen randomly, which is an odd one because Gwen globally has a 60% pick ban rate still, and in OS it's 17%. That's probably only gone down since the games today, closer to 12%, I would say, by now. So Gwen's disappeared completely, which is odd.
I mean, still certainly viable, but yeah, clearly the players have either just not been scrimming on it anymore or just have their own set of circumstances where they say, it's not worth it. And ultimately, Pete's going to say, Yuumi is just a little bit too strong right now. We are going to also respect what we've seen so far today. We locked that one in. Ezreal response from Danteh, certainly his most popular champion this split. But what is the pairing, given that Lulu's banned away? Same for the Karma too.
I mean, today has shown us that Rakan seems to be the most comfortable matchup into the Yuumi. But it is Bulldawg, and we're a big fan of this. Now, I will say that picking Ezreal Bard outright, not knowing the enemy composition, is still a bit of a risk. Because Bard isn't the greatest of all-time champion at all times. However, what it can provide is some supplemental engage for your team. If it's Poltron and Bulldawg with like a Volibear Bard composition, towers aren't real, they don't exist. Dive is a very key feature, and it's certainly possible that's what they'll go towards.
You know what's exciting though? We've got ourselves LeeSA back on LeeSA. Remember the last performance? We said he might be taking a bit of a break.
Yeah.
I think he's had his break.
It went on hiatus.
It's taken a few weeks.
It did.
He's feeling it. He's vibing. We're back. So, Twitch and Yuumi is their bot lane. LeeSA will be their highway to be aggressive on. And look at that. I mean, you can ban one of those champions in the Karma, but Siuman says it's an instant blind pick Akali.
Yeah, Ahri and Akali both up and available. He's going to opt into the Ahri, not knowing his matchup, not caring at all. Pick what you want. Siuman has said, I am going to go crazy with it. Yuumi Twitch, I think this is the first Chayon game where we're going to see him have all of the potential to hard carry.
Sure.
One good thing as well about this Akali pick, just quietly, is into bans. You can get rid of the hard counter of the TF that reveals you while you're in your Shroud. Past that, though, we're looking at both compositions. Jungle is the one place that, like, Volibear, Nocturne, and any other jungler right now, Viego potentially could just be banned. Poltron's going to get challenged here.
He is.
In terms of depth of champion.
Probably going to be forced to play something different unless he's willing just to play the Kindred one more time in a situation like this. Who knows?
Kindred actually has a pretty funny interaction. When I'm a Bard main. When I see Kindred on the enemy team, I pick Bard. Because if she ults, you ult. They get nothing from it.
Just nullify.
Nullify it completely. I don't know how that would work with picking it on an ally, is what I'm getting at here. It's pretty dangerous, actually. I would like something that can engage, or can work with engage. You need follow-up here. Trundle does work. Trundle Bard is a combo. Volibear's gone. Nocturne could have worked.
What else are we thinking? Zen, J4, we're starting to go down to traditional hard engage AD.
J4 can work because there's a Twitch, right? Not a non-dashing ADC. That is adventurous.
Okay, look at Poltron crack it up. That is a spice. I think this might be the first Skarner in LCO history.
It certainly could be.
When have we last seen this champion? I need to crunch the numbers on that one.
Probably 2020 in North America.
In O's?
I don't know.
A whole minute, eh?
In O's, I have no idea.
Far out.
This is crazy. We talked about the low pick rate of Gwen. It's suddenly being hovered as an actual possibility. There was one Pabu game last year with Skarner.
That is true.
I don't remember it, but I absolutely trust
at the
Mac.
moment, yeah. Max got the stat.
Max stats.
Mac stats.
And Gwen's gone. So the thing with Sejuani, just to really get this out there, I think that Sejuani is good with carry melee junglers or in compositions where you can gank top lane. You have to have value in ganking top.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Viego with it so much, because Viego has auto attacks, not full resets, but like is an auto attack based champion, and you can get the Viego fed. Wukong also obviously has the same merits as a big team fight prevalent feature for the team. LeeSA not as much. Can snowball the game, can actually get out of control, yes, but often has that mid-game drop-off point.
But does this not just say to you, Rusty, that this is really all about Chayon popping off on this Twitch? All the resources in the world, all the stuns, the setup, the displacement, the lockdown. Twitch, if you're not going to find resets with Lethal Tempo or your ult ramping up, I mean, whenever will you?
Absolutely. They've got a bunch of frontline to stand in front of Chayon on this Twitch as well. But the diversity of pieces composition, right? There's mobility, there's flexibility. It's the submarine composition as well, the Twitch and the Yuumi together. They're so hard to track, they're so hard to stop. And if you're Skarner looking for an angle, you have to find the Twitch first, but he can hide himself. And so it becomes a really big game, a dance of where are they? Like a Bard ultimate doesn't even find someone that it needs to hit. Do you even want to hit a Lissandra in the first place? That's actually a good thing at times for her. It can be very tough for Direwolves, I feel like, to find the angles that they're after. But if they find it, if the Skarner ults the Twitch, there's taxes to be paid by Chayon now. You can't go Mikhail's, you can't go Cleanse. You have to buy a QSS to get out of it.
Yes.
So the taxes will have to be paid if they want to stay in the game as they scale in.
The Malzahar tax, if you will.
That's the one.
Being applied here in a Skarner situation. And also, just quickly, we've got a Viego top lane, which is also the curveball that we said that Zorenous would be cocking up in a situation like this on a red side pick to try and make Thien's life difficult. On paper, what do we think? Because obviously some percentage shred into that of a Sejuani, but it's been a very long time since we've seen laning Viego.
Viego used to be a solo laner.
Yeah.
Right? There was that long period of time on release where he was played mid, I think, the most. And was also flexible towards top and jungle. They nerfed most of his laning capabilities. So it's almost like playing Pyke in a solo lane. Right? They stopped Pyke from existing in solo lanes by nerfing damage to minions and through minions. And they amplified it to monsters instead. So Viego into Sejuani to me is all about, can you actually duel 1v1? I don't know how this matchup will go for a Viego. I feel like it's just Sej runs Ignite and has a sick time. Right?
I would say so. It's been a very long time since we last saw it.
You can't heal through Sejuani's damage. You're going to get stun locked. And she has Ignite for laning phase. I haven't seen a Sejuani not run Ignite teleport yet.
It's definitely the go-to. No need for a flash or a ghost.
Skarner could go top. I've seen Skarner tops. I feel like Skarner top because you can cycle stuns into tanks actually could be nice with Conqueror, but hey.
Either way,
yeah.
I've crunched the numbers. It's been 10 months since we last saw Viego in the top lane, last played by Lift. Been a hot minute. Regardless, he's back. That is the curveball that Direwolves have thrown in this situation to give them the edge, to try and claim their revenge. As for Peace, though, no doubt they'll be feeling comfortable about the fact that they've got a ton of engage, a lot of mobility, and a real chance for Chayon to 1v9. We're not chance for a coaching interview, and this chance is for us to catch up with Midlord. It's been a long time, Midlord, but how have you been this week?
Hi. Hello?
Hey, how have you been?
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, that's good to hear. Oh, continue.
Yeah, I just want to know, is Skarner top or Viego top? I didn't saw the last second.
Yeah, we got Skarner in the jungle, which is
jungle,
quite
alright.
exciting. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to ask then, what was really your game plan going into tonight's game against Direwolves? We know they're very aggressive in the early game. What was your plan to try and stop that?
Yeah, the main point for us is about the jungle Poltron. He always can punish mistakes. So if we play more careful, and I think in the jungle, LeeSA has more power than Skarner in the early game.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, also on a second front then, what's it been like having Chayon playing again, right? He's obviously spent the off-season as well, been practicing with you, so what's it like having him back in the starting team?
It's just like a normal routine. Like we always have some time to relax, to take a break, and Chayon is still good.
We certainly got a good chance to show just how good he is in this game here, Menulog. I'm going to leave you to it for the meantime. Best of luck in this game, and a pleasure catching up.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Honesty.
Yeah.
Where's that Skarner, by the way?
Yeah, he didn't actually know because he had to come into the coach interview before the draft hit the 20-second bar.
He's just as excited as us.
Yeah, he's confused. But what we can say towards the top lane matchup is that it is the Conqueror. It is going to be a Viego that's going to try and Q harass off cooldown, right? Has extra auto attack damage in general. Thien's gone for the grasp and isn't going to start as a strong champion by any means. As you're seeing, the harass that comes out, remember that there is an ignite advantage. So this was my only musings, is I feel like Viego might be fine into most tank matchups, but Sejuani being able to run ignite just gives this little extra kill threat. Zorenous also, from the looks of it, has gone for bone plating.
Hold that for a second though, Rusty, because we could be on here for a first blood. Yes, double flash, exhaust as well. Where are you running? Peace and Chayon, they get the ball running.
Just have extra summoner spells. LeeSA's top lane here as well.
Oh, this is going to go from bad to worst here for Direwolves right now. The ignite goes out nice and early. LeeSA looking for that flash. Going to come out late here. Sidestep the Sonic Wave. Die to the flailing arm of a Sejuani. Top to bottom. Peace, get it going.
Direwolves get 2v2'd bottom. They get ganked top lane. They just lose everywhere all at once. Siuman just kind of watching the ship sink around him. A Poltron just finishes clearing his camps. Isn't going to do scuttles. Actually going to run straight bottom here. No vision to spot them at all. Bulldawg could flash Q on that wall, but they don't want to commit themselves to the play. The minions perhaps just... There's too many. They back away.
Spot on from Menulog there, right? When we asked the question, what is the response into trying to make sure that Direwolves don't get the early lead? Well, we just be more aggressive in the early game ourselves, right? So you finding those kills almost feels a bit like deja vu for Direwolves, but on the opposite front.
Well, I don't think that Direwolves are necessarily sculpted to be an aggressive comp here either, though, to be fair, right? This time around, the Skarner wants to full clear. I think Skarner actually quite adept at dueling if he fights on one of his own areas of control. Sure. A controlled shrine. But other than that, right, it's a phase rush Skarner into the Conqueror Lee Sin, so the dueling is pretty nice for LeeSA on this Lee. Apii tends to control mid lane pretty successfully, has push very successfully early. And bot, fair play, they made a mistake. Danteh and Bulldawg got punished really aggressively, but the teleport's there from the Ezreal. And quite simply, they have 2 extra summoner spells down in bottom lane that are relevant for the 2v2. So that adds up to be quite significant, to be perfectly honest. A small little mistake still results in what is like a 10 CS plus experience lead for Danteh. He's not super upset at what's happened from this. Chayon actually does get a free reset, however, for a pickaxe, so right now is exceptionally strong.
CS-wise, as you say, Danteh happy, but itemization-wise, no doubt Chayon is keen and hungry to try and fight again, especially into that of a tier start. But no, you raise very valid points, right, as to what Direwolves comp is built to do. Certainly more adept at handling the team fights, right? If it is a case of this Twitch being the 1v9 submarine, then a chance for a Flash Cosmic Binding, a Tempered Fate, if you will, or just literally the Skarner jumping on your head.
Or an Akali or a Viego, right? Like, they have so much damage to take down Chayon, and it's not necessarily like Peace are built to Lulu ult him and keep him alive. There is a Yuumi, but beyond that, there are so many dive champions, the exhaust can't hit everyone. And if the fight happens and the Chayon's positioning isn't just perfect, could run the risk of dying. Peace's composition can body, they can stand in front, they can be a brick wall. But that comes down to execution and setup. So what we're saying is there's worlds where both cases can happen here.
Poltron just hovering in the bot lane for the meantime. Actually going to cancel his recall there. Would love to obviously hit level 6 as quickly as possible to have that kill pressure, much like a Nocturne in the game we just saw. But he's going to decide, you know what, I'm actually going to stick around, blast Cone over, go for this first Drake.
What I actually like from Bulldawg there as well is he uses his sweeper in lane and then walks towards the river just to see if there's a ward. It's not giving away, like, as a tell that my jungler is here, but it also makes sure that if their jungler was there, Peace can't do anything about it. So they're just so passive, they have to back away, and only now with confirmation that the Drake is gone will they get any kind of info. Meanwhile, Peace are playing for the top side of the map. Zorenous just going to walk straight past. He did want to be close to 6 for this.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1v3 right now, but Siuman's going to rock on through. He's level 6, so he's certainly got the ultimate ready to rock and roll. He's going to actually cop a bit of a beating underneath the frozen clone, but at least trade back even. And then trim this wave as well.
That was really well played by Siuman. The fact that they're able to get up to that play and turn it into a 1-for-1 is massively advantageous for Direwolves, or for Poltron specifically, who's spending this whole time taking jungle camps away. Well, LeeSA was threatening the dive. LeeSA will eventually get to this red buff, but Zorenous is here and he is level 6. Siuman, no ult, no ignite, but has the collapse.
Collapse is on, and LeeSA could be in trouble right now. He does have a flash. That is his saving grace, but he's not level 6, so he doesn't have the ultimate. Siuman going to flash on through with the 5-point strike. Shuriken in and out. And the punish is big.
Really well played by Siuman there, and now a 2-0 Akali. We saw this yesterday from Direwolves on the Sylas instead. He has been a major win condition for this squad, and once again is stepping up to the plate. His wave state is absolutely tragic, and we'll lose a lot of this, so you'll see Poltron come through and just very happily farm that one away. But so far, so good for the mid laner of Direwolves yet again.
Right place, right time is what you had to put it down to, right? The fact that he's able to get up to that top plate and not make what is already a very strong Sejuani even stronger.
Got him.
Nice little interrupt. You'll be happy with that one. The bar putting in work.
Like, at this point, Chayon, you should know it's warded and not recall in that same bush again. They've lost. Straight up, Gunkrab's been one hit this wave state. If they're not fighting, they're just losing here. Stopping that recall, just accept reality, clear the next wave. They just kept trying. They just kept trying, Skimmy.
Danteh's keen, right? He's level 6. He's got the Sheen. He's ready to rock and roll.
Now you can bait.
Look at top side. They're hovering. A kill here would open up the Herald.
That is, Dante's teleporting mid for Herald with very limited mana, but he is going to be right here. Bot lane has been equalized. He's not going to stay any longer than necessary to clear that wave. He's just going to get right to the play. They want to force this as 5. This is a clear set play from Direwolves. Peace have vision, however, and they are collapsing with ultimates in hand.
Certainly are, and Direwolves has 3 are locked inside the pit right now, but look to try and group on through and get away. But that's a massive 3-man route there from Apii. A self-cast ult to buy some time. He's low. They trade back 1-for-1. LeeSA versus the Ezreal in terms of who receives that bounty. Tempered Fate goes on down. But it is Peace that come out ahead.
That was such a large angle from Apii, but gets immediately Skarner ulted. So unfortunately for him, not going to be able to self-cast the ultimate, not going to be able to get himself out at all. But that W to lockdown 4 was huge. The biggest thing here, and this is, I have a Bard brain on 100%. Okay. The fact that he used the magical journey to get to the Herald, not out of the Herald, allows this to even happen, where you just use the portal to get out from the pit. This never happens. But nevertheless, the fight was found. The angle was found by Apii, but as you saw, the Skarner ult stops that one, and Danteh and Siuman just left to limp away as Peace found their moment.
Great punish overall. Direwolves would have been really hoping for, as you said, Herald into disengage, into a summon that, and continue to feed either this Akali or make sure that this Twitch doesn't get out of control too early on, because now they are matching pound for pound 2-0.
Yes, they are. A 2-0 Twitch is a dangerous prospect of all people to get the kills as well. The fact that it is on a Chayon bodes very well for Peace.
Rough start here for Zorenous as well. 0-3, right? First gank went his way, then the 3-man collapse as well into that skirmish.
Yeah, the Sejuani can be played towards. Lissandra does like roaming towards side lanes. You don't necessarily need to play, and this has been proven today already in multiple games for sample size, everyone at home as well. The Twitch Yuumi is not played towards. In fact, more often than not, the jungler ends up adopting the Yuumi, and they just start playing towards plays on the map where the Twitch is isolated but is invisible, so he's nearly impossible to kill.
Just like a win on 2 different fronts, right? You can't spot him, but he's getting solo experience. He's getting stronger when he does finally pop up. He's a little bit of a nuisance to try and handle by that point in the game. 11 minutes in, Peace certainly feeling comfortable in the position they find themselves. Up by 2k gold. Second Drake. Guy will stay here first.
Well and truly, finger on the pulse for those objectives, and there's no shot that Peace were looking to contest this one by any means. LeeSA's a grump. He wasn't ever going to be here. No intent. Peace, they're fully aware they're not fighting this one. They're just going to try and clear waves. Bot lane doesn't feel safe given that the Drake was just secure and they have no vision control of the river. So they're just going to sit on the outskirts of their remnants of control.
One goal on mine here for Poltron. Just got to go fast. Got to be as quick as you can. Kim Tank has just been purchased.
It's a cool little combo actually as well. I know not anyone really ever at all plays Skarner, but Phase Rush is really nice for being able to hit Chem Tank into a stun combo. If you can get in, press E, auto attack Q, ult, and then just sprint away. The Phase Rush lets you pull them back at a faster pace, and the Chem Tech compensates to let you go forwards at a faster pace to actually find them. Flash also very necessary for Skarner. As much as you feel like you want Ghost to catch someone, you just need Flash at all times.
You need that Flash jump, for sure.
You just have to have Flash. Or you feel so useless if they can kite. And like Lissandra, we've already seen very much in effect tonight, can kite.
We don't want the Udyr incident
anymore. No, you
anymore.
do not want the Udyr incident. It's named now.
It is.
We've got the Tron the Pom and the Udyr incident.
Yes, the wraparound bot side.
That's the two names we've made this split.
I'm sure we can find some more by the time we get to finals.
Well, we had the Praedyth, but that seems to have been fixed.
Yeah, true. It still happens, but he doesn't die. So that one is starting to fall off.
Is there anything else?
Not that immediately springs to mind. I'm sure Twitch chat. He's screaming out saying, what about this?
Yeah, just tweet at us.
Why not?
If nothing happens for the next few minutes, we'll probably end up seeing the tweet and talk about it. There's a Drake in 3 minutes and a Herald in 1.5, so good luck. Pretty sure something's going to happen.
Cloud Soul. So, happen again. I guess all things considered, though, probably actually really what you'd be after if you're Poltron, right?
Poltron, Siuman as well. Pretty happy with that one. I'm sure Apii, you know, most members in this game, actually, Chayon in particular, can space glide, pop ultimate, run at super speeds.
Yeah.
Very hard to actually kite the Twitch then when he's able to chase you down if you immediately flash away. There's a little bit of utility there in it, and it's also the ultimate cooldown, right? So that's the unsung hero every single time of the Cloud Drakes themselves, not so much the Soul, but, you know, Skarner, Akali, Ezreal as well for wave clear. You'll see Ezreal throw ultimates off cooldown constantly. That goes down, and Bard ultimates, as much as possible available, is always going to be nice to have. Another thing as well with Herald in 20 seconds, Dials are a team that don't necessarily have to force the Herald fight. You know full well that if you give the Herald away to Peace and you trade for a turret or, you know, like 3 waves as an advantage, you have a Bard to counter it anyway. So it is one of those situations where you hold more of the power when you have a Bard in your comp when it comes to Rift Herald. They've all been spotted here on Vision, by the way.
Well, they have been, but looking for Chayon, they flashed onto him. There is just the instant Skarner ult with the true shot barrage, and the execute from Zorenous, even though he's exhausted. That is a shutdown. Multiple members locked inside that Tempered Fate, and then Apii is getting excited as LeeSA claims that shutdown onto that very fed Akali. The kills continue, and Thien's taking down Zorenous in that lane counterpart. But Danteh's now found his second kill in the game, and the magical journey will just be that disengage. The final prize is this Herald, but multiple kills just before.
I mean, that ends up as like a 2-for-2 trade. In the very end, that is an even trade between both teams. Chayon goes down, both summoners used. I'd have to see the start of the fight again and how he even gets caught, because there was a ward in the Tribush that I swear we saw them walk through, but just cops the Skarner ultimate. But anyway, the fight happens. Apii's having the game of his life right now. So many melee champions in close range that he's connecting with these Ws and Lissandra ultimates. How does Chayon die here?
He just walks back in.
He just... Alright, I mean, that's pretty special. But listen, look at Apii's start to this fight. It's a huge Bard ultimate that locks them down, but that's also now in the prison of where Apii can put down damage. Very well played by Bulldawg. Full credit to him, but at this time you're thinking that's pretty bad for Peace because they've got the first Viego reset, but they find the fight. LeeSA finds constant angles. Thien was consistently hitting, and Apii was crowd controlling them off cooldown.
So many flashes burnt as well. Literally none left but Bulldogs, which is crazy. A huge team fight. And multiple casualties. But no Herald claim. That's the big thing, right? So now Peace look to say, well, Dragon's here instead.
It's also first strike Ezreal instead of the Conqueror. This is definitely a game where I think you get Conqueror off pretty successfully in team fights. Hitting people constantly.
You're alright though. Don't even want to keep your distance. So, Drake sacrificed. Traded out for the turret.
I think the fact that it switched to Cloud as the third Drake of the game, most teams are going to look at that and say, whatever.
Is what it is.
I would be more than happy to get first turret in the game as a sacrifice for one Cloud Drake any day of the week. So I think the Dials, in my mind, have made a very good decision there by sacrificing that Drake, keeping them busy, you know, making work for it a little bit. But at the end, that whole turret in top lane is super valuable and gives a bit of extra money to the pockets of Zorenous, who you would say kind of need it at this point, 1 and 4.
He does, 1 and 4, sitting on the Blade of the Rune King, and he'd be happy with that, but he certainly needs more. That will certainly make life a little bit easier for him in that quest, but Direwolves will return back here top side of the map, pick up that second Herald of the game, and with the gold ever so close now, that'll be their invitation to try and take the lead once more.
You're expecting them to summon that towards mid. You would want them to break the mid lane outer turret for sure. They're going to need to actually set themselves up for it, however, and they're pretty fresh onto the map. Siuman just hunting around this bottom bush. Was worried that there was going to be multiple people here because there was a Twitch and a Yuumi just dipped towards the bot side of the map. Viego's only just crashed that first wave in top lane as well. So now's a good moment where you'll see Direwolves start to have freedom to collapse. Siuman's the least safe on the map presently, however, as he is isolated and there is still good control wards and vision from Peace. But Direwolves can look at clearing waves. That's the first step, right? They got some vision down. Next wave is cleared, and then potentially straight mid for the Herald summon if Thien shows to catch this next wave top.
Poltron waiting so patiently in the top pixel bush without a flash, but waiting to see if anybody makes that rotate for an easy impale.
It's all a numbers game. All a numbers game. Thien shows right now, LeeSA is about to, and so you'd expect Herald just gets summoned after this wave is cleared. Straightforward League of Legends from Direwolves, right? That's a free turret.
Second turret of the game, unanswered by Peace so far. And still the gold lead. Dead even at this 19-minute mark point.
Bulldawg and Apii have just said hello to one another. That's Merc Treads on the Bard though, so there's really no chance that they're going to get that kill. Also just the Lissandra. Danteh stuck by himself in mid with Poltron hovering. I feel like realistically they want to clear this wave and actually play towards bot side jungle quadrant and look for the bot lane outer turret. The question is, what is Zorenous going to do during this, right? Because he's been pushed away from top, he's half health. He may even just go back to base and look to teleport bottom if they make a play.
At this point, you're not interested in side laning because it's not going to work out for you.
You just die.
You'd be very keen just to say, TP me into a fight, let's get resets, let's win.
Resets coming through from Thien as well, so could teleport to the play at this bottom turret. And both teams not really willing to force anything. We're not seeing a teleport even baited out for this play. We're not seeing anything actually thrown in. Just trying to play low risk, low reward gameplay. Which really just results in objectives being traded and has amounted to a grand total of 300 gold.
Did see before though that Danteh is the most fed member in the game. Been firing up a storm. Healthy lead over Chayon, who, to be fair, has had this Yuumi on his head for the majority of the game, so he's going to be showing a fair bit of XP, hence why there is a 2-level discrepancy.
And he's gone. Gunkrab has latched onto a new target to be his taxi. Play around the Drake. 50 seconds. If they do secure this one piece, that is just 2 Cloud Drakes back to back. So again, in terms of urgency on objectives, there's really no pressing matters towards this Drake. In fact, Dials have said it doesn't matter at all. They've put all of their control. No wards placed yet. In fact, only 1 ward remaining from Bulldawg. So you can see he places it in a really creative forward position that won't get control warded. But they have no vision to actually play. So staying for this play is trying to force with no wards. And they don't want to do that. They'll change their mind. This is how much people care about the Drake in this game, right? You've just got people bush camping for Baron instead.
Absolutely. Zorenous was answering in the bot lane, and now Siuman decides he wants to jump on in. That's the Tempered Fate onto 4 right now. Perfect Execution R2 will be used to disengage away. Zorenous using the Blast Cone to jump into the fray of things and say, is this fight on or not? Oh, it's an airball.
That emote sums up our faces nicely. This is going to be the disengage towards the Cloud Drake. Direwolves once again, however, straight into the Baron pit. The gauntlet's been thrown. Peace are going to respond to this one, but they're not going to have their LeeSA in. Siuman no ult, Bard no ultimate. Zorenous and Poltron do.
Direwolves taking this one. Look at Poltron. He's got a situation right now. What does he do? Does he go for the smite? Does he go for the flash impale? They want to try and disengage away. The magical journey is there. Thien's going to follow them all through. Chayon gets the shutdown onto 1. They got multiple members to fight, and they'll find that second kill. LeeSA's on with a Sonic Wave. But does he chase onto the Akali? No, it expires. 3 Baron buffs remain, and they took down Danteh.
Apii is once again just having such an exceptional game on this Lissandra, locking people in pits, finding angles on literally everybody from Direwolves. The end result will be the Baron secured, but they'll lose multiple members. They'll lose the outer turret in mid, as well as bottom from the looks of it with this Demolish proc. So it really brings into question, was that Baron worth it? Was the Baron Force worth it at all? And the answer is depending on how much they get now. Thien's opening a small window of opportunity here.
Yep, straight away chucks at the ult, buys some space and pray for some time. Poltron walks on through and doesn't have that ultimate already been utilized. Magical Journey comes in through, making it now a 1v3. It's so hard to take him down though. 2 completed items as a tank. What can you do? Passive connects, Apii TP's in, Everfrost onto 1. The fight still continues. Tempered Fate only onto the turret. Siuman instantly jumps in.
Oh, LeeSA.
But it doesn't engage all the way. LeeSA rocks up to the fight and goes, that's not what I'm after, and gets shut down in an instance there by Danteh. Disengage away. And Direwolves will have to settle for just 1.
LeeSA gets outplayed by not pressing tab, doesn't see the Zhonya's Hourglass is there for Siuman. He just uses that one, stops the kick from going through. And the desperate kick on a Zorenous is not going to be enough.
Zorenous once more though, 1 and 5 are still looking to engage. There's the flash impale. And that's not the target they needed. They couldn't find it. They couldn't remove Apii from the game. His KDA is not flattering, but his performance is.
Yeah, and it just creates space for the Twitch. Chayon gets to just unleash a torrent of damage. And the turret will be taken, right? They'll get what they're after. The skirmish was messy, though. We're having an absolute barn burner here. These teams are just going crazy with skirmishes. That is an adventurous item build as well from Apii. I'm stuck on this. Horizon Focus 3rd. Doesn't want the Shadow Flame. I guess flat magic penetration not going to be as valid in his eyes, but doesn't all of Lissandra's abilities kind of sit within the range where you don't get the bonus damage? Except for maybe the max ranged E in your passive?
It's a very obscure niche case if that's where you're finding value from. Certainly a question we have to ask, and I'm interested in that.
Happy to be told otherwise. If someone knows the answer, feel free to tweet at us. I'd love to know about why.
Never seen it.
It just feels a little bit odd to me when you could even consider, I don't know, a Void Staff into all of the Merc Treads that are starting to ramp up. If you want to do damage, or you could go utility.
Sure, 4 of them are there. Bulldawg instantly with the Magical Journey running away because there comes Apii. Everfrost ult on towards Siuman, who this time does not have the luxury of his own use. He's inside his own shroud. In comes Zorenous, who says, we need to try and team fight. He drops down the ult, but he doesn't have the damage.
Chayon's alive.
He doesn't have the conviction to get the kill, and Chayon is still alive. He's sitting on a double kill right now. The final chapter goes across. It locks in place Poltron. And they're going to find that kill in an instant, no doubt about it. Yes, you can impale him, but you're dead and gone. And all after that, I mean, Bulldawg gets a shot down onto Thien.
And Chayon is back to full HP as well. There's just so much healing and shielding. Danteh and Bulldawg are an absolute menace. They're a nuisance, and they do so much damage, but it's the rest of the direwolves that are struggling to get it done. It's as simple as a single 1-in-6 Viego that just doesn't have the legs to actually get the first kill and to get the Twitch out of the game. Siuman gets locked down here by Apii. It's a nice combo. Zorenous comes in. The goal is Chayon at all points. Ezreal ult misses. Ultimate does connect, but Siuman doesn't have anything to follow through here, and Lissandra, too much damage, right? They lock him down. And at this point, Chayon's just going to heal all the way back up. You saw that from one Yuumi, 388 HP. Pretty straightforward here from Peace, right? If Chayon lives, they win.
They win, absolutely. And it seems to be a clear-cut explanation from what we expected of the draft. He's got the QSS, the tax has been paid, he's got the survivability, right? If it's not that one shot, then it's very hard between the final chapter, as well as Apii's ability just to conduct how these team fights will play out. LeeSA sterling achieving this may be one of their strongest early games to date.
This has been really promising from Peace, yeah. Like, again, back-to-back days where they're looking like they could win the game. So far, so good from Chayon and Gunkrab. Apii is the most improved for me so far, however.
Poltron's on.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, looking for that kill. Stun connects once again, locking him in multiple layers of CC. Poltron still has his own ultimate, and at the very last minute is going to hold that one. Doesn't need to use it. Zonya's bought out. Siuman also going to respond in similar fashion down on the bot side. And thanks to him, there's a minion blocking that kick.
Yeah, really nice rocket belt actually towards the minions to make sure that Sonic Wave didn't find its mark. LeeSA still with the kick available. But direwolves going to be trading on the opposite side of the map. They're going to lose themselves a third Drake consecutively. And a teleport coming through. The Bard ultimate's available.
Bulldawg's on. He's looking for the stun underneath the turret. Thien is TP'd into his demise, it would seem. Do they have the damage? I believe they do. Yes, we know he's tanky. But that's eager.
That's absolutely reportable. Thien just teleports in, knowing full well that that's the weak side of the map, and perhaps just thinks he's tanky enough to get through it, and it doesn't matter. But they have the legs, they have enough damage to take him down. Meanwhile, his team was still winning elsewhere on the map, so it's unnecessary.
It feels to me like inspiration from what happened in the bot lane when he got collapsed upon and said they can't kill me, so I can just make this play here.
And now he's teleported, so it's not available. Baron is up, which means that he has to be grouping. And Apii has to be the one split pushing, but you want Apii there.
You need Apii there for what it's worth, what he's done in this game so far.
It comes as no surprise if direwolves force themselves around the objective again. Poltron with Flash, with the Chem Tank, and with Ultimate. Chayon does have the QSS. He has paid the tax, as has LeeSA. So if we're just keeping tabs on this, it's very awkward to want to bring a Lissandra into a team fight. I will say that. You don't want to drag her back.
Oh, look at him go. Chayon just absolutely battering right now. Instant flash away. Danteh was feeling the pressure. He's down to 50%. Cops the ultimate. Doesn't hit anything. Siuman is really not wanting any part of this one. And thankfully, just out of range of some of these major cooldowns as Thien just drifts into life. The ult with no follow-up, just a little bit too far away. Zorenous is still split pushing down bot side. He has the unleashed TP. Danteh forced to disengage away one more time. Final chapter from Yuumi. Gunkrab buying time. Poltron in so much trouble. He's burnt the ult. He's flashed into the magical journey, but into Apii's waiting arms. And Bulldawg falls on down for it. He tried to protect his jungler, but that's a shutdown for Apii.
Absolutely tries. Danteh struggling to get himself back up with sustain, but it's all about buying time for the direwolves because Zorenous is still hitting. Siuman once again in the mix. Ezreal can poke, and Poltron is still here, though flashless. If they steal this Baron, they win the game.
They just need to buy more time.
Siuman's
going in. He's got Zonya's. He starts it off. Danteh across the wall, hitting those mystic shots. Has the ult to disengage away. Not going to be stolen, but can they delay their recalls?
Viego teleported in.
Inhibitor's not been taken. He's gone for the team fight instead. Apii! 2 members locked in place, and that is catastrophic. Chayon now 7-1. And my God, Rusty,
why do you not take the inhibitor?
I think Peace have done it.
He's opted out of the inhib to lose his life at Baron. So not only did Peace get the buff, they get 3,000 gold beyond the buff immediately from kills as well. I feel like Siuman going in here is for the purpose of buying time. The Zonias is there, and Danteh and Poltron are zoned away. The reality is you just throw your Skarner in and try and steal this one. That's option A. Option B is you buy time on the disengage here, don't let them recall. But the fact that Zorenous is teleported in to just die is egregious.
Peace no doubt laughing that they didn't lose anything in a trade for that Baron, that their hit is still up intact, that there is no win con now for Direwolves to prey upon. And this will be a very strong Baron buff. Might start to create some daylight between these two and getting a gold lead.
We're starting to really see the beginnings of a full Yuumi gap, however. You have to keep that in mind. All of the harass from Danteh is being healed back up instantly. No issues for Yuumi at this point in the game. Multiple forbidden idols, of course, to increase the shield and healing power. Danteh flashless, and Thien extremely tanky, looking for those shuffle angles with the Sejuani engages. And there is no cleanse. All it takes is one little misstep right now, and it's a Chayon pentakill angle.
TP's on, Apii's coming back. Inhib is dead, so they're now looking for a second. Bot lane is prepped quite nicely for them to move down to. The Direwolves option is the same as it's been all game, right? It's just to keep hard engaging and hope that you have enough to stick to take down the Twitch.
They really need vision of Apii or Chayon if they want to make any play at all. Oh,
Thien flings the ultimate out, doesn't really land. Heartbreaker to try and disengage away. LeeSA with the flash kick straight back into his team. There's a double kill. Just like that, Direwolves have found what they did not want. Not the kill, not the success. Peace with all the answers. Yes, they lose their jungler, but hunting for an ace. They found 3 so far. They've opened up the base for a second time with this and hit down.
And they want the game.
And they want that game.
They want the Nexus right here and now. 2 members alive from the Direwolves. They're going to try and mount a defense, but there is still a Twitch with full HP ready to stand and deliver.
Siuman's certainly got his work cut out for him right now, but he's going to have to try, and he's going to have to start right here and right now. He jumps on in. He doesn't have an ultimate, but he's looking to try and utilize that energy as best as he can. Thien and Apii are low, but the Chayon Twitch show is just a little bit too strong. This one was clean, and this one is Peace, going 2-0.
And Chayon says, Violet, you can enjoy your holiday. It doesn't matter. Big Dog's here to get a couple of dubs on the week for you regardless. Peace find themselves with a 2-0 week. And they'll be very happy with that one. You can see the smiles across the roster. Very well deserved as well. I wouldn't say the perfect game from Peace. Extremely dicey moments here and there, but it still felt like this is a much more reinvigorated roster than perhaps what we've seen in the weeks past. This is much closer to the trajectory of Peace going into the second round robin that we want to see after a tragic first round.
Much more of what we've seen in the past from the proven caliber in splits gone by that have allowed them to be champions.
Just crazy game. You know, Direwolves looked like they weren't up in terms of the kills that we saw throughout the game, but they were like macro-wise always doing the right thing, getting real close to the base. And then, like, I don't know, they just flirted too much with that Baron idea. Poltron didn't want to go for the smite. It didn't feel like he was invested for the smite, even though Siuman managed to get the info. And then there must have been a call saying, no, we're going to fight this. Zorenous gives up that inhib, as you mentioned, TP's in, and only half of the team sort of invested that re-engage. It was chaos, right? Caused by a lot of pressure from Peace, who just kept on making solid decisions. It was a bit of a messy game and a very, very scrimmy game, right? Like lots and lots of skirmishes all over the map. The whole game, it was really interesting. From even like the 10-minute mark, you're seeing teams group up as 5, group up as 4, and just take a lot of these crazy team fights. But yeah, look, the early Baron that was forced didn't get a huge amount of value. Peace really answered there nicely. It felt like in the long term, Peace just knew Chayon was their win condition, kept playing around him, kept getting him fed, and he just played this one spectacularly. Although Yuumi as well, I think it needs to be said, Gunkrab, I think he was deathless at the end, just survived his way to victory.
Yeah, absolutely did. I feel like Gunkrab played well on the Yuumi, as well as the Yuumi can play.
Yeah.
The Twitch did his job as well, but even then, like, these 2 players in the bottom lane for Peace simply did what was required of them, which was show up to the team fight at the right time, do damage at the right time. And that is reflected through the damage dealt, but the person next to Chayon that almost beat him as a Lissandra was huge. They were finding angles, they were finding those moments and those opportunities to allow the Twitch and the Yuumi to deal damage by being in front of them, finding engages themselves. And that, for me, was the biggest point of difference.
I didn't find any answers on that Horizon Focus
I'm curious.
point you were asking about. But I have requested the big Apii for the post-game interview. So
Okay.
hopefully we can ask him and check why he's opted for that one. If he knows something we don't, we do not. At the same time, though, there were a few points, especially when that final Baron was taken, and you saw it just go instantly to 4K, instantly to more. But did you see that goal graph? Just like this. It was like anyone's game, and then boom!
Yeah.
He stonks right on up there. So it was an interesting graph. You don't see them too often. And I feel like that was definitely, you know, the closest game today was literally anyone's game at multiple points there. Look, many points had. I feel like, look, the Bard. I know you always love a little bit of Bard gameplay, and you can definitely, you know, it was like, you know, yesterday with me with Shyvana.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I'm not a great player, but I'm like, why is he doing that? What's going on? That's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And I felt, yeah.
It's like you want to celebrate the fact that it's there, but you know so much about it that you want to critique too much. Like, that's the most irrelevant little details. You're like, that's bad. But like, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Like, you can min-max by doing this better. Why haven't you done? Anyway, look, we do have Apii on the line. So, look, straight from the horse's mouth. First question. These boys want to know, why did you build Horizon Focus on a list?
I copied Xiaohu's build because what he says about the build is if you're playing Lissandra, basically like all your spells can slow or like stun enemy, and it will instantly proc his passive and to let your other spell to do more damage. Because that's not just like, that's like two of his passive, right? Like first is like if you're throwing a skill shots like on a really long range and then you proc his passive, or you slow or stun enemy. Like most people just don't know like on the second part.
There you go. So I guess the boys over on the couch there are most people. Either way, congrats on the win. Are you very happy with that? You got the 2-0 week for Peace now. Chayon doing big work in the bot lane. It feels like you're improving in mid. Do you feel like you're having better performances over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I do feel the same because I was a little bit struggling about both laning and team fights. And I don't know what's going on my head, but it caused our team to lose a few games as well. So I was focusing on like more about myself, improve, and I'm glad like Chayon filled in, and he did a really good job with Gunkrab as well. So I'm happy about this week's result.
And look, quickly, LeeSA did say he'd take you on a 2-hour drive to go for a picnic when I asked him earlier. But like the sort of, you know, silver lining was that you're the only one that actually has your license. So do you think that's like a backhanded compliment, or do you think he was being smart with that choice?
Well, actually, it's a bad choice because my lessons was I don't have that full lessons, and I had my like learner lessons when I was in high school, which is like 7 years ago. Because I'm too old, and I didn't do the like the red P, the green P, like whatever the test anymore. So I used to drive, but not anymore. So it's definitely a bad choice to bring me to drive.
Yeah, well, maybe you can give him a piggyback or something. I don't know. Are you feeling strong at the moment? You need some cardio?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Yeah, beautiful. That's what I love to hear. Anyway, look, you have to be feeling great after a win like that. We'll let you go, Apii, to enjoy the how do you do a W like this? Am I W?
Thank you. Enjoy your weekends as well.
Thank you. We'll do. Love everybody. Is this is a W?
Yeah, it's close enough.
It's a wonky W. I feel like, you know, the W in like a Wario hat? I feel like that. Like a
Middle
really
of your
weird,
head's
like,
not a point. That's the only issue. W. Yeah, no,
I was
don't.
looking for
good.
hats.
It's all good, Mac. It's all good.
I reckon there's a party
Also,
hat somewhere that could point my head right straight.
For Apii's point on the Horizon Focus, I did forget about the CC portion of it.
Yep.
But also, it does bonus damage to someone that is revealed, which is what I was thinking about. I just found out it did about 1,000 extra bonus damage to the Akali, who was revealed while invisible. So
Cool.
There you go. Beautiful points there. Now we have to talk about the Dare MVP. I feel like Apii is definitely on all our lips.
100% happy.
Yeah,
for sure.
right, well, no other contenders. Not much of a discussion. The Dare MVP for the final game of the day was Apii, showing a lot of improvement and not only being a very, very big force in terms of the engage, in terms of the damage on the Lissandra, but just helping Peace find a bit of consistency. 3 wins now back-to-back for them. And this man has been influential in a lot of these victories. Even when Peace is kind of doing bad, I feel like Apii most of the time is still doing really well. So, look, look, definitely deserving of this one. And I guess we'll see if he can carry this consistency forward, Skimmy.
Certainly can. We've seen him do it in the past, right? A very flexible player who's played top lane for this roster, played now obviously mid lane for his second split. He's putting in a solid shift. I mean, ultimately, a great game for him to play to Lissandra. Lots of targets for him to lock on down, for him to then complement the rest of his team and say that, look, the rest of my team in the LeeSA and in the Twitch, they play the QSS tax. Does a Skarner really want to try and impale and drag me into a team fight?
Yeah.
No. So I think, yeah, great identification.
Look, you got to get ready to just loosen up a little bit, get comfortable, because we have to have a discussion about the play of the day. And look, just you need to be relaxed to remember. You look pretty relaxed.
I am actually quite relaxed. I was like, I'm not sure how to, without just like
be more relaxed.
lying.
True. Anyway, any contenders for play of the day that you two remember?
I mean, the first team fight that happens at the Herald in that last game was probably the first one that comes to my mind. Apii with the 4-man W.
That is pretty big.
That was pretty good.
That's not it
I'm
though.
trying to think about that third game, if anything stood out to me.
The blind pick Fiora.
Stop it. Stop. It's not that. It was from the third game. It was PGG with a big old team fight that ended in an ace. I think there was two of them.
Oh,
I'm guessing
clean.
it's
Is
the
it the
first
clean
one.
ace?
The LeeSA at the
Probably
end.
with Volcom with the little cheeky jump on at the end. Here it is. It starts with your boys coming in from mid, just pushing out, saying, this is my mid lane. Then you do have this rotation as well coming in from the rest of the boys there on Kanga. Unfortunately, it was all for nothing, and they all got taken down one by one.
It's the Laser Boys, this combo. The Victor and the Rumble put down the red carpets in different directions.
Little unfortunate for Kanga, look, but very well played from PGG, showing that they are a force to be reckoned with, and that they can still, you know, mechanics max, teams max it out at the exact same time. Just picking them off perfectly. Everyone on the same page, and I think, you know, I think the win as well for PGG, not only desperately needed to stay towards that top of the table, but also just to get some confidence back after that loss to Direwolves yesterday. Although now, this just reminds me, right? PGG lost to Direwolves. Peace just won against Direwolves. Peace also beat PGG.
They now have head-to-head against Direwolves as well, 2-0.
They
Peace.
do.
Yeah.
They do. So if that comes into contention later on in the split, that'll be interesting. But let's have a quick recap of the standings and see where all the teams are after today's games. So have a look here.
Oh,
we have
welcome to the
4
muck.
teams in second. That's where we're at the start of the second round robin. Chiefs still undefeated, and everyone below them trailing by at least 3 wins.
This is perfect.
But this is what you want to see, right? This is great. I'm loving... I usually hate ties, but when you got a 4-way tie, oh, give me more of that.
This is so good because it really is now asking the question once again, who is the second best team in the league? Because we thought we had it cracked for a second, right? We thought, oh yeah, Direwolves in pretty hot form. When does it end? And then after that defeat, you're thinking, okay. So Peace are looking a lot stronger in the early game. Love to see that.
Yep.
PGG certainly putting on an absolute tear. Order on their moment will absolutely stomp as well. So you're really like thinking, yeah, who's going to hit that peak? Is it going to be now? Is it going to be the third round robin? Or is it going to be when it comes into playoffs?
Yeah, well, let's have a look at next week's games. Of course, moving into week 5, we have our first Super Week. But this, of course, is just day 1 of 3 days. So have a look at what we have on the menu for you guys at home. Next week on Monday, 6 p.m, Direwolves and Gravitas going head-to-head. Maybe a chance for Gravitas there. Direwolves, we'll see if they can bounce back after their first loss, which feels like their first loss in a while. Peace and Kanga as that second game. That could be interesting. PGG Mammoth. Again, if Mammoth play out of their minds, could be another good one. But look what we got at the end of the day. 9 p.m, Order and the Chiefs. So, grand final rematch territory yet again. And the Chiefs, are they going to meet their maker? Have Order worked out the kinks enough in their strategy to take down the Titans of Split 2 so far? Rusty, I guess you got a week to decide.
That's the question. That is the question, Mac.
Yes.
Doesn't need an answer yet. We've got a week
It's your
to think
birthday.
about it.
I was going to ask you the question, because it's your birthday. I won't make you answer it
okay.
now. I'll give you a week to decide.
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's your present.
Which means you can tell me next Wednesday
Could have
after it's
answered.
happened too. You could.
All right.
Skimmy,
Yeah, man.
do you want to answer the question or not?
No, I want to be elusive like Rusty.
Ooh,
My idol.
We
mysterious.
want a reason for the viewers to come back. We don't want to give them
Mysterious.
answers. We want to leave
look
them
at
with
us.
questions.
To look at us.
That's what life's about.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Fine individual.
F in the chat to pay respects for Rusty. And then a capital F in the chat. Pay respects for Kitty, who's not here.
Okay.
One's for your birthday, one's because...
Oh, okay.
Our birthday respects.
respects.
Yeah,
Okay.
good
Okay.
respects.
Yeah.
Either way, that is it for week 4. Thank you all for joining us here on the LCO, delivered by Menulog. We got much more fun next week. 3 damn days of it. Hopefully my voice will be back then, but we'll definitely all be back together. Enjoy yourself, stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday.
So I was going to try and sum up something right here. Toppy with a 1-man on towards Goodo. Maybe not the target after. He's got Subjugate active, and there it goes. Puma is the focus. He's going to flash away. The fight breaks out still, and in comes Bio. He's just TP'd into the fight. What can you do to slow this guy down? He won't die. He may be a support in his itemization, but he's a raid boss in his execution. He won't get that kill, but he's certainly done enough to ensure that his team will find that double kill. Puma is there. He'll get himself a 3rd. And Kisei is just literally winning the game off screen.
The only other objective he had up had full cleared already. They're diving.
Continues. Alador with the last stretch of his mana says one more hook. Ali G, you're not going back to base. Voice, you are not farming these minions underneath this turret. You want the XP. You want the gold. He's going to commit. He's going to jump on in. Looking to try and stack up that Conqueror as quickly as he can. Exhaust goes out, but that gets cleansed away. And out of both low. And then Raze flashes forward and says, I want one. I'll get 2. And I won't die.
Just bop. Hold that road.
Yeah. Oh, Rogue with the flash ult. The flash charm is there. The equalizer goes down. And even if the lights are out, I think it's only Kanga that are feeling the burden of not being able to see what they are doing. TNC drops the fixed skin, receives the Sonic Wave, and gets taken down by the support of Penton. There is the flash kick, the insect, if you will, on towards Liv, who says, thank you very much. I'll just try and assassinate your backline, but he will not find it. Balkan's still hungry for more. Wants the ace. That's what they're after. And that is Yuumi, who this time does not have the luxury of his own use. He's inside his own shroud. In comes Zorenous, who says, we need to try and team fight. He drops down the ult, but he doesn't have the damage.
Chayn's alive.
He doesn't have the conviction to get the kill, and Chayn is still alive. He's sitting on a double kill right now. The final chapter goes across. It locks in place Poltron. And they're going to find that kill in an instant.
Hey, look, Menulog.
Who am I? I was released in 2009 during the alpha. I had a visual update in 2015 on patch 5.2. I had my most recent update on patch 12.10. One of my abilities is a reference to an interaction you can do in FPS arena games, like Quake. I have the 5th longest basic attack range in the game once I'm level 18. I have a wide variety of skins, 13 different ones to choose from.
Tristana?
I didn't think Triss to be the 5th.